Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater, and the Deadpool 2 trailer finally dropped. Keep in mind, it's been, a little over a year, right, since we saw the very first Deadpool 2 teaser that was in front of Logan, which opened March 3rd, 2017. It's now March 22nd, 2018. So we've been waiting a long time to get this, and this is the first and only and final Deadpool trailer, the full trailer, not a tease with the Bob Ross thing, which was funny, not a tease with the Deadpool meets Cable, which gave us a little bit more, but still nothing to do with the story. This was that trailer, and to be fair, we needed it. We really did. All the conflicting reports recently about the story of the movie being an absolute mess. After I covered it the other day, I got sent a private message on Facebook by someone who claims to have the inside knowledge, and they gave me a lot of plot point details. And one of the ones they gave me was conflicted by the trailer, so cool beans. But I don't know if that was something that was added in on a reshoot or what. So I have no freaking idea. I've none whatsoever, and that's okay with me. That's okay. But ultimately, what I liked about this trailer is that it did give us the general story. Basically, Deadpool 2 is the comic book equivalent of Terminator 2, and there's quite literally nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Deadpool has to protect another mutant. It looks like the kid was in had a collar on and a jumpsuit, like he was part of the same organization that turned Deadpool into a hero and everything else. So, a mutant, so to speak. And so they got to go protect him, and clearly this kid is going to be some kind of destructive force in the future. So Cable goes back in time to stop him. Christ, it almost feels like Looper, but just with better actors. So and a better director. It's Ryan Johnson. Anyway, so yeah, the story looks good. The characters look very good. The comedy looks really good. Anything with Dopinder is going to be like 100% in my book. I thought everything with him in the first movie was fantastic. Really, really liked it. Glad to see that he's back. Glad to see that, was it Rajit is alive apparently, and he's driving a cab again. So Dopinder got out of trouble from the end of the first movie, and he's still working with Deadpool. And then, of course, there's going to be the creation of the X-Force. Now, I did mention that, I believe yesterday when I talked about, or the other day when I mentioned some of the reshoot stuff, that it does feel like they are trying to create an X-Force setup film very similar to Iron Man 2 being a lead-in for the Avengers, but just nowhere near as pushy. In the same regard. And the fact that they showed it in the trailer and then made fun of it being a derivative name is definitely true. And I thought that was good because clearly the movie is very self-aware of what's going on. I'm also curious to see what's going to happen with the film going forward, because we already know an X-Force movie is clearly going to be being worked on. So Fox wants to, I think, probably rush that through. I've heard the talks of them starting filming this year. We'll have to wait and see. But ultimately, I like that. Negasonic Teenage Warhead is back. This time, got a better outfit on. She's got a girlfriend, apparently. A Chung-Li lookalike with a laser whip. So, again, not against it. Looks pretty cool. Colossus is back. Again, always in full form, which I like. I thought Colossus was awesome as, like, the moral grounded center, the straight man of the first movie, and I'm glad to see that he's back. I'm hoping he's as funny. The little shots in the mansion, and, of course, Deadpool in Xavier's chair, which is gonna be pretty funny to see, and yeah, so I'm definitely digging the trailer. But there's one thing I noticed here, one key element that I did believe was missing, and that's Tim Miller. Tim Miller's touch, his feel, is missing from the trailer. It really is. If you go and you watch Deadpool and just go watch the trailers for the first movie, and then watch this one, you can see there's a huge tonal difference. And of course, this has to do with the fact the director's change. Tim Miller being his first time directing, coming in and being very straightforward with this movie is one of the reasons why it went on to gross $786 million worldwide in the box office. I have no idea how much it earned on home video, but damn if I don't know a person who doesn't have it. And that, went on to do very well. Well, now you've got David Leitch, I can't ever pronounce this dude's last name, but he did John Wick, or co-directed John Wick, and then also directed Atomic Blonde. And if you go and you watch just the action scenes in the trailer, like when the Yakuza gets his head cut off and all the other stuff, you can fully see that it's David who's directing this over Tim Miller. Now, Tim Miller uses a lot of fast cutaways for the action, where here very much likes to show it. And I think that's going to work out well for the movie. I do. I think when we see the type of action that came out of John Wick, especially the staircase sequence in Atomic Blonde, which was awesome, a lot of that is going to be brought into the action scenes here. You can tell when there's all the sword fighting going on with the Yakuza, there weren't cutaways. It was, you know, actual stunts, actual choreography. So the fighting is going to be good. And I think the fighting is going to be violent and visceral and in your face, and probably also darkly, deeply comedic, just based upon gore factor. I think they're going to play up the gore factor something serious. And so as a result of that, even though I love Tim Miller directing the movie, and I'm missing his voice added to this, his presence is definitely the lack thereof is felt. But what David Leitch is bringing to the table, I believe, is actually going to be maybe better, right? Because people want action. They want action. And don't get me wrong, the stuff at the helicarrier at the end of Deadpool 1 was fantastic. It was really funny stuff. But again, it was also set up, shoot, move to the next setup, shoot. It was a lot of cuts, a lot of, you know, the action was good, but it was also very much a sequence with a number of people, and it wasn't like super creative. Whereas this one feels like it's going to just be very visceral. I don't know how well that's going to translate in terms of creativity, but when you're thinking of an action sequence and you want to kind of get an idea for what I think we're going to see in Deadpool 2, I would go watch Atomic Blonde, and I would definitely go watch the first John Wick. And then watch the second John Wick, because those movies are freaking amazing, and if you haven't seen them, you should feel bad. And you really should feel bad, because they're great. But ultimately, visually, the film looks fantastic. The action looks pretty good. The shot of Deadpool in high heels at a strip club is funny. That caught me off guard. I laughed out loud. It looks like they are very much trying to elevate it up to the next level. And I did love the little joke there about Deadpool 3. Like, why even make a third one? They're going to kill it in the second one. Clearly, you know, playing up the fact that they are self-aware, and I think that's going to work out pretty well. I only hope that the movie's good. You know, this has done a lot to get my hype levels elevated back up there. I know I've been a little bit concerned for where things are going with it, and I think that's not necessarily going to change until I can sit down and actually see the movie. But that being said, I think going forward, I'm going to avoid a lot of the extra marketing if I can. And the reason why is because I don't want there to be the same thing that happened to me going to see Deadpool 1, which is where I was like completely balls deep in the marketing of this thing. I would rewatch the trailers. I would show all my friends, my family. I mean, all the time, you know. And ultimately, when I got to the theater, they showed me a lot of what was in the movie. And so I don't want that here. So I'm going to do my best to avoid it, but what I've seen looks pretty decent. And I'm curious to know what you guys have to say about this too. Do you think the trailer looks good? Do you think that it's not enough? It's not good enough? Or do you think it looks better than the first movie? What are your general thoughts based upon the reports of all the crap involving the reshoots and stuff? Be sure to let me know in the comments. Of course, my name is Matt Jarbo. This has been 3 Black Theater. If you guys haven't already, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, check back often for more content from me, and if you want to see more, you can do so right now.